Looking to take your financial knowledge to the next level? You're in the right place. Welcome to Ask Ralph, offering accounting, technical, and financial advice. Whether you're looking to save taxes or improve your business, he's got you covered. Here's your host of Ask Ralph, Ralph Eastup Jr.
Hello and welcome back to the Ask Ralph Show. Today we're going to talk about a topic that I truly hadn't really considered, and that is how to protect yourself from public USB charging ports. Now, there was an article written by Chris Hoffman, which appeared on the howtogeek.com website, and it's a really interesting thing if you think about it. With the proliferation of smart devices, a lot of us are looking for opportunities whenever we can to charge our devices. Now, one of the things that I hadn't even considered is, what's the danger in using a public USB port? We haven't seen widespread reports of charging ports causing problems. However, many possible attacks could happen over a USB port. And these things can be avoided if we're careful. See, the main problem here is that a USB doesn't just transmit power. It has the ability to transmit data. That's why you can plug your phone into your computer to transfer files back and forth, update the phone's operating system, and back up its contents. A correctly behaving USB charging port wouldn't even try to access your phone's data, but there's nothing stopping it from trying after you plug in a USB cable. A charging port could try to access private data on your phone or exploit a security vulnerability and run dangerous code on the device. A cool term they got for this is called juice jacking. Now, with older phones just made while older phones just made your photos and data accessible whenever you plugged into a cable, current iPhones and Android phones usually require permission to share things. So, for example, when you plug in a USB cable on your iPhone, you may very well get a prompt that says, should we trust this computer? It wants to know that. On an Android phone, you must enable transferring files over the connection. So even if you have USB debugging enabled, you must permit the device to access it. So it doesn't affect a lot of the newer technology. Now, if you don't give your phone these permissions, it will still allow charging over the port, but not allow data transfer. So what are some things we can do to avoid that? One of the big things you can do is get a USB charge-only adapter. And what this basically is if you must charge from a USB charging port and you're concerned about the risk, you can purchase a cheap USB charge-only adapter. They're generally very inexpensive. One of the things they mention here is a pluggable USB charge adapter for $6.41. And to confirm it works as advertised. It's a little dongle you plug into a USB port before you connect your phone's charging cable. The data pins within it are disconnected in a dongle so that only the power can be transmitted. So basically what they're doing is they're taking that USB port and they're making it sort of like a block from being able to transfer data. In this article, they call it a USB condom, which is kind of a funny term. Now, the downside to that is this dongle simulates a 1A charging signal. So you can't use this as fast charging technology as the data pins are required for negotiating the charging speed. So that's going to be the most you're going to get. Many public USB charging ports are on the slower side anyway. They're free, so people aren't going to give you the greatest technology. Now, it's also worth noting that this charging adapter simulates a 1A iPad-style charging device, which could present another problem in that many devices will only charge at 500 mA from a computer's USB port. So the dongle can speed up things if you're charging from a laptop or desktop PC. Now, the other thing that you can consider if you're going to do a lot of traveling is using your own charger and simply plug it into an AC outlet. Now, if any of you have been to the airport recently or even to some, hotels and things like that, you will see people plugged into every possible plug they can find with their own adapter. These public charging stations are one option. Now, some of them actually have a place where you can plug things in. So for both safety and maximum charging speed, skip the USB charging ports altogether and just use your own AC adapter. Now, the key to this is there is absolutely no risk of data connection because you're plugging it directly in. And network traffic is being even if network traffic is being transmitted over electrical wiring. What we're talking about here is there are some cases where they actually transfer the data through the electrical connections in a particular building. Now, the other cool thing about this is it may even boost your charging speed. And they got an example in this article. iPhone users can get an iPad charger, or even better, a USB-C charger to charge their iPhones more quickly. They give you some examples here. The Anker 30W USB-C charger is only $26. So that's a great idea. Now, another idea you might want to do, and this is something I've sort of taken myself as well, and charge from a portable battery. And these are a good investment. Rather than hunting down a USB charging outlet, you may want to skip them entirely and get a portable battery for your smartphone. Just plug the phone into a battery to charge it whenever you like, even when you're away from the power outlet. And these have gotten really affordable, for example, Anker Power Core Slim is only $30 for their heavy duty charger, or $60 for their even more. The cool thing about this is you can charge, in most cases, these batteries, you can charge your phone several times. And you also can do, by plugging it in, you can charge the battery as well as pass through to charge the phone. And this completely eliminates any concern about transmitting data. Now, and these things are nice to have. I mean, the truth of the matter is that, let's say you're in a place where you can't get to an AC outlet, and that's where, one of these batteries really comes in handy, and it's something that you may want to consider. Now, absent all of these things, one of the things they mentioned in this article, we may see the move towards wireless charging, and that may eliminate this whole USB issue completely. Because then you'd be able to charge your phone at any public wireless charging spot without worrying. Now, I personally have the iPhone 10, which has that wireless charging. So basically, if you don't know how that works, you basically just set it on a wireless charging device, and it will go ahead and charge your phone. Doesn't have any data transfers available. All of this said, I think this is a great article and a good thing to think about, if you're doing a lot of traveling, how to protect yourself. This goes along with, the whole consideration of using a public Wi-Fi. There's a lot of things that you need to consider now that we're in this world of everybody's connected. When you go into different stores and different places that you visit, you're going to be bombarded with these, what they call, maybe a guest network or something like that. And the thing you need to understand is when you connect to those Wi-Fi networks, first of all, they're unprotected most of the time. If they don't have a password, then they're unprotected. So you got to be very careful about that and make sure you understand what you're connecting to. One of the things that I may talk about in a future show is the use of a VPN, a virtual private network. I've seen some, more recent communications about using a VPN so that you're not actually transmitting data over that Wi-Fi network. So, in this age of technology, it's just one of those things you've got to really think about, what am I doing to protect myself? What data do I have that I'm transmitting through my iPhone? Or let's say you use a laptop. So some key things from today, think about getting your own AC adapter to carry with you, or take the step and go ahead and buy one of those backup charging batteries. And that way you'll have it with you wherever you go, and just make sure you plug it in at night to keep it juiced up, and you may be able to charge your phone several times in one day. So I hope this was helpful to you.
You've been listening to Ask Ralph, brought to you by Saggio Accounting Plus. Please subscribe to and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a rating and review. Our podcast is produced by Carolyn Peters. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Ask Ralph Media. You can also hear me each week on 1450 WILM and on 1410 WDOV in Delaware, and on the iHeartRadio app. Submit your questions or ideas for future shows by sending an email to AskRalph@AskRalph.com.
The information contained in this episode of Ask Ralph is based on data available as of the date of its release. Saggio Accounting Plus and Ask Ralph Media Inc. is under no obligation to update this content if changes occur. Applying this information to your specific situation requires careful consideration of all facts and circumstances, and any information provided is not to be considered as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult your tax advisor or attorney before acting on any material covered.